Greetings, beautiful people. This lovely lesson goes out to my good friend and wonderful student, David Ayres. We're going to be looking at the solo to Through the Never by Metallica. Let's take a look. Alright guys, let's have a look at the first section. I'm going to start off with this little legato lick. Relatively simple idea, just being played 4 times. I'm pulling off 14, 12, 10 on the first string, all in one pick, and then I want to pick 12 again. And as I said before, I'm going to do that idea 4 times. Then I go into this phrase. So what I'm doing here is playing 14, 17 on the first string, and then I'm playing 14, 17, 14 as a hammer-on into a pull-off, and then jumping to 17 of the second string. All together. Okay, then I work into this phrase. Let's slow that down. I've got to pull off from 17 to 14 on the first string, jumping to 17 of the second, then back to 14 of the first. Then from that point, I've got 5 notes and I'm just going back and forward in this nice little triangle shape. I'm playing 17, 15 of the second, 16 of the third, and then 15, 17 of the second. So it'll go like this. So we've got, hopefully that's all making sense. At the end of that, I'm doing a bend from 17 of the second string, playing 15 of the second, and then jumping to 16 of the third with some sexy vibrato. So for that whole last phrase again. Let's have a look at what we've got thus far from the start, and then we'll look at the second half of this section. So hopefully that's all making sense. Then I work into this phrase. Let's slow that down. I'm sliding into 9 of the 4th string, and keep in mind that we're kind of around the B minor pentatonic here. I'm jumping to 9 of the 4th, playing 7 of the 3rd, and then I play a regular 9 on the 3rd string. Then I'm playing a pinch harmonic and doing sort of a double bend up and back, and then I want to do another pinch harmonic but with a single bend. So we're going to kind of have 3 bent pulses, but I'm only picking twice. At the end of that, I'm going back to 7 of the 3rd string and jumping to 9 of the 4th. So that whole phrase thus far, hopefully that's all making sense. And then I end on this phrase. Alright, so let's slow that down. I'm starting off with that slide back into 9 of the 4th and 7 of the 3rd, so very similar to our previous phrase. Then I'm going to play 9, 7 as regular notes, and then a bend into a pull-off as well from 9 to 7, so it'll go. At the end of that, I'm going from 9 of the 4th and then playing 7, 9 on the 3rd string. Then I've got a big sexy bend from 10 of the 2nd string. And then to finish that off, I'm going to do sort of a slide into 9, but keep it really muted, and then play 7, and that will get us prepared for section 2. Alright, what I want to try and do is the second half of this section when we started getting those cheeky pinch harmonics in there, and then we'll do the whole thing even slower, and then we'll do it again one more time, extra slow with some tabs. So here we go. Let's go right back to the start of the section now. One more time with some tabs. Alright guys, so the second section is going to take place around a B minor pentatonic. We're also going to be using a couple of cheeky double stops here and there as well. So I'm going to start off with this phrase. So what I've got there is a muted 9/7/9 on the 4th string. Then I've got a cheeky double stop playing 7 of the 2nd and the 3rd string. And you can give it a slight sort of almost a quarter tone bend to give it a bit more sort of sass and pizzazz. So we're going to have this. At the end of that, I'm going to play 9/7 on the 4th and resolve that to 9 of the 5th. So we've got this thus far. A little bit of muting here and there does sound quite sexy as well. I'm going to do pretty much exactly the same phrase, except instead of playing 9/7/9 at the start, I'm going to play 7/9/7, and that's going to sound like this. So all together, hopefully that's all making sense. Then I go into this phrase. Let's slow that down. I'm going to play 7 to 9 on the 4th string, and then I sort of roll to 9 of the 3rd. At the end of that, I'm going to go back to 9 of the 4th and then play 7 of the 3rd. So I'm going to be kind of pedaling off that 9 note. At the end of that, I'm going to hit 9 of the 4th string twice and do a quick pull off to 7 and jump to 9 of the 5th. At the end of that, I'm going to play 7 of the 4th string, and then we're going to play 9/7/5 on the 5th, and that's going to kind of shift us from position 1 of the pentatonic to position 5. So we've got, at the end of that, that's going to kind of lead us into the second half. I'm going to play 7 of the 6th string and 5/7 on the 5th. So we've got, let's have a look at what we've got thus far, and then we'll add the second half to it. Okay, the next section is, next chunk is really, really fun to play. It's just a lot of hilarious bends. So I've got a big bend from 7 of the 5th, and then I go to 5th fret of the same string. So I'm going to go and do exactly the same thing 4 times. At the end of that, I'm going to do a tone and a half bend. So we're going to try and make 7 sound like fret 10. You'll notice when I do that bend, it's a full body experience. You know, there's shoulders and there's like lifting. You've got to like fully get immersed in this bend to get it remotely in tune. So I'm going to do the bend from 7 to 5 4 times, and then the 5th bend is going to be that victorious 1.5 tone bend. At the end of that, going from 5 of the 5th, resolving to 7 of the 6th, which is going to be our B note, which is the tonic. So we got, and that's pretty much the whole section. So let's try that again at a gentleman's pace, and then we'll do it again even slower with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Alright guys, section 3 is going to start off with this phrase. Okay, so what I'm doing there is a hammer-on pull-off, which is going 17, 20, 17 on the 2nd string, and then I'm jumping to 9 of the 3rd. Now if you want to, you can just do what I'm doing and do sort of an economy sweep thing. So as soon as you finish the first hammer-on pull-off, when you hit 19 of the 3rd string, you can sweep through that to begin the next sort of group of that 4 notes. So we're going to have, hopefully that's all making sense. So we want to do 8 of those in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, then after that I work into this phrase. Let's slow that down. I've got to pull off from 20 to 17 on the 2nd string, and then I go right back to 20 for a bend. There's actually 2 in a row, isn't there? At the end of that, what I've got here is a pull off from 20 to 17 on the 2nd string again. And then I jump to 19 of the 3rd, and then it plays 17, 20, 17 on the 2nd string. So it goes, to finish that off, big bend from 20 of the first string. All right, let's have a look at what we've got thus far from the start of the section, and then we'll have a look at the second half. Hopefully that's all making sense. Then I work into this phrase. So what I've got here is a bend from 4 of the 3rd string, and then I have a double stop on the 2nd fret of the 1st and the 2nd string. Okay, from that point, I've got a sliding double stop chord from 14 of the middle 2 strings on the 4th and the 3rd. Doesn't have to be that specific, but I think that one sounds particularly sexy. From that point, I go back to my bend and my double stop, then it goes. So what I'm doing here is a pull off from 4 to 2 on the 3rd string and jumping to 4 of the 4th. At the end of that, I'm playing 2 of the 3rd string again and jumping to 4 of the 4th. And if I didn't mention it earlier, this is all taking place around an F sharp minor pentatonic. Hopefully that's all making sense. Then I work into this phrase. So what I've got here is a bend to the double stop again, and then I'm going to work down the F sharp minor pentatonic, playing 5 to 2 as a pull off on the 2nd string, and then I go. So what I have there is I'm playing 4-2 on the 3rd string, jumping to 4 of the 4th, and then I want to play 2-4 on the 3rd. So we've got, at the end of that, I'm going to do a bend from 4 of the 3rd and then quickly play 2 and jump to the 4th fret of the 4th string. Hopefully that's all making sense. Then after that, I've got a couple of double stop unison bends. I'm playing 9 of the 1st and bending 12 of the 2nd. I'll do a similar idea from 11 and 14, and then 12 and 15. And I've got a very, very slow sliding double stop from 11 of the 3rd and the 4th string. And that's the whole thing. So let's go right back to the start of the section from that little hammer-on flat phrase. We'll put it all together, and then we'll do it again, even slower with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. And that was the rockin' and shred-tastic solo from Through the Never by Metallica. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and please click the links in the description box to my Udemy course on modes, also my Patreon, and please like me on Facebook on my fan page. We can catch up and you can get some cool goss and the ins and outs of Chris's adventures. Anyway, I'll catch you guys all very soon.